Welcome to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live. It is Friday, May the 7th, 2021, 10 a.m. Mountain, 12 Eastern, coming at you every week at the same time live. And today we're going to talk about an exciting announcement from our main sponsor of the Heavy Duty Parts Report podcast. Now, before we get into that, a couple things that we want to always mention. This is live and you can participate. So please feel free to comment, ask a question. We want you to be in our broadcast and join us in the conversation today. Second thing is that if you don't know, we have a weekly podcast. It's the main event of what we do. Go over to heavydutypartsreport.com and you can check out our weekly interview with manufacturers, heavy-duty parts distribution companies, and other industry experts, where we tackle really the question is, how do we lower cost per mile with high-quality parts for the trucking industry? What's going on in the trucking industry? What's the future look like? These are the kinds of conversations that we have. So if you haven't checked out the podcast, by all means, do that. You can do so at heavydutypartsreport.com. But also, if you prefer a podcast player, we're just about on every podcast player known to man, as well as we broadcast the video on YouTube. So lots of ways for you to consume the content. If you're not a fan of podcast players or YouTube, like I say, go over to heavydutypartsreport.com and subscribe to our weekly email. We'll just send you an email with a link, and then you don't even have to worry about it. Okay, so the big announcement. Before I do that, I'm going to bring on my co-host, co-producer, audio video editor. You know him, Taryn Hohenson. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for the intro.
All right, so Diesel Parts has gone mobile. That's the big news for us this week. It was announced earlier this week on LinkedIn by Tyler Robertson, the CEO. Many of you know that Diesel Parts has been a long time sponsor of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. So we were pretty excited to hear about this announcement.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's exciting to see that this big, broad platform is finally going mobile.
Right. So up until now, it's been available on desktop. When we say gone mobile, what do we mean? What devices is it going to be available on?
Well, it's available on the App Store for Apple, but also Android users.
Right. So any iOS device, you can go and get access to it. Any Android device with Google Play, you would be able to get access to it. So basically, if you have access to Google Play, you'll be able to get access to it that way, regardless of the device that you have. Now, they can go to those app stores and search it, but what have we done to make it easy?
Well, to make things even easier, I think Jamie has very nicely added a little link to get you there.
And I'm not even getting any affiliate earning from it. So it's not like I make any money if you click that link. That's just to make it easy for you. It's in the show notes. Go ahead and click the link in the show notes on the device that you want, and you can get access to it. Does this mean that the desktop version is no longer available, Taryn?
Oh, no, of course not. This means you can just do it also while you're mobile.
Right. So if you're in the shop, and you're at your desk, you can be on the desktop version. Then you go out into the shop, you're walking around and you need to look up a part. Got it in the palm of your hand. It's awesome.
Yeah, because everyone has their phone on them, it seems, when they're working or somewhere nearby. So it's just so convenient.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that was interesting about the announcement this week is Tyler was very candid about how difficult it was to get it on Apple. Some people may have seen the news items around Apple and Facebook. They're not getting along right now. Apple has decided to stand on the side of the user when it comes to data and privacy. And unfortunately, Diesel Laptops got kind of caught in the middle of that, trying to get their app onto Apple. It was a whole story, let me tell you, but they were persistent and they were able to get it done, and so now it's available, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. I've heard a lot of that happening actually with companies that are just having a difficult time getting both on the Android platforms, but Apple as well. Apple sometimes can throw up those little walls.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand what Apple's trying to do. They're trying to protect users' privacy, but at the same time, Diesel Laptops has spent millions of dollars in the development of this parts app, and to just leave that wide open where people would just be able to pull down all the data, that just can't happen. So there has to be, this has to be behind a username and password. Now, signing up, the process is really easy, right? You did it before you hopped on the show. Just tell us about what the sign up process was like.
Yeah, so easily enough, I actually had an account already made prior, but all you have to do you just have to download the app if you're on your phone. You give them your email, you make a password, and that's all there is to it. It's
Yeah.
so simple.
Yeah, so the 20,000 plus users that have been using the desktop version, you just have to put in your password, your email and password, and put it in the one time you're logged into the app, and there you go. You've got access. If you're brand new, hit that create a new account, email, password. That's it. And you get access to it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of show people a little bit of what it's like to actually use the app. So we're just going to go ahead and share our screen here. And I'm going to go over to the Diesel Parts. Hey, can you see that on there?
Yep.
You're seeing Diesel Parts on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. So here I am on the homepage, and whether this is the desktop version or the mobile, it looks very same. All we have to do here is, can you see me minimizing my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the mobile looks like. It's just fits your screen. First thing that I want to point people's attention to, and I'm going to turn on my little pen highlight here, is the parts cross-reference tool. Now, they have over 2.5 million unique part numbers and millions of other crosses in there. And it's very easy to use, as it is with most cross-references. You just put in your OEM or aftermarket number, hit the cross button, and you are getting a list here. And of course, it's pulling every part number with the 1142 digits. We want the AS 1142. We click View Part, and there you go. You got access to it. Here's all the cross references. There's lots of available cross references for that one, lots of different manufacturers. And actually, there you go, the whole list. At the top, you got a really high quality picture. You've got description, VMRS code up to 6 digits. Super, super easy to use. Another thing that I thought is a really neat feature is this recommended parts, Taryn. So we're going to look up this really common air dryer part number. That's an 89 Bendix air dryer. And you see here under recommended parts, it shows 12.
Mm-hmm.
So what that is that with this air dryer, there's a bunch of parts like you can buy the entire air dryer, but you can also buy a replacement cartridge that goes inside of it. You can buy a replacement check valve. There's a bunch of parts that go along. And so the recommended part shows you like a purge valve maintenance kit, a replacement purge valve assembly, all of the different replacement check valve, desiccant cartridge. So everything that goes along with that part is found in recommended parts, which is really, really convenient, especially if you kind of know what you need, but you're not sure if you're going to have to buy a few replacement parts to go along with it.
Yeah, definitely. That would be super handy if you're having to rebuild parts of that. Because then everything's all in one spot. You know where every part you need.
That's right. This OptiCat data, now that's an interesting one. We've talked lots about the importance of PIES data and ACES information. This is all PIES data. So it gives you from the manufacturer some of the specs. And as you can see, there's lots of different drop-down info linked to the manufacturer's website. All of the attributes and descriptions of it, just so much data right at the palm of your hand, right in your hand now.
Yeah, that's a lot of work put into that to keep everything organized for us.
Right. And I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute here. So one of the things that the other cross-reference, big heavy-duty parts cross-reference tool, they advertise on their website, they say all you need is a part number. And that access to that cross-reference tool is by subscription. That's a paid subscription. Diesel parts, it's free. The cross reference is right there. And, if you've got a part number, that's great. But what's even better about diesel parts is what happens if you don't have a part number, right? How do you figure out that information? You either have to phone a dealer with the VIN, you got to do some Google searching, which isn't always the most accurate. That can be a real problem.
Yeah, it definitely can. Google can take you all over the place if you don't know exactly where you're looking.
And it can easily take you down the wrong path. So what we're going to show you next is we're going to show you the parts lookup feature, which is completely unique to diesel parts. There's different ways to identify the part if you don't have the part number. And this is what really puts them head and shoulders above other cross-reference tools that are on the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Now, before we do that, I just wanted to mention the reason that Tyler isn't here today doing this demo with us, he's been on the show many times, is because he is busy at their virtual show. So that is, it was yesterday and today. If you haven't checked it out, by all means, go over to virtualtruckrepairexpo.com. That's free, and they're putting on some really great presentations. So make sure you go over there. There's also giving away like 50 grand in prizes. So you want to go and check it out. And hopefully you'll win something. Did you know, Taryn, that we actually were a sponsor of that show? And there's a grand prize of an RV, like it's a tent trailer. And in that tent trailer, there's a bunch of Heavy Duty Parts Report swag.
Oh, that means I need to go apply for that tent trailer.
Yeah, I don't think you'd apply. I don't think you'd be able to.
I can dream, Jamie.
Yeah, but people will be out camping with their grand prize, and they'll have their Heavy Duty Parts Report hat and their mug and their sweater to stay nice and warm while they're camping. So head over to Virtual Truck Repair Expo if you haven't had a chance. So that's why Tyler's not here, and that's why Tara, you're stepping in as always. So for those of you that are just tuning in right now, we're talking about diesel parts, how it has gone mobile, and we were showing people the cross-reference tool. So I'm going to go back here and share my screen again, and we're going to kind of show people exactly how to use the parts lookup. So if you look over here, I'll go back to the home page. If you look over here on the left, right underneath the cross-reference, you have parts lookup. You have exploded views, component search, by measurement, and used components. Used components is engines and transmissions and hooks you up with truckpartsinventory.com's open marketplace for used and recycled parts. It's awesome. Click on it. There you go. Select engine or transmission, and away you go. But the three that we're really interested in is exploded views, which is their year, make, and model lookup. So what you do here is you can go in, you can look it up by specific categories, but what we're really interested in here is the complete truck. So let's just take like a Freightliner. We'll go with like a Cascadia 2015. And then we have all of the different parts on that truck that we can look up. So we don't even know what the part number is, but we know what we're looking for. We're looking for a trailer brake valve. So we click on that, boom, there it is. Nice diagram. And all the parts in that diagram, including the entire component. Once you have that, you can click on the view part, which connects you to the cross-reference and gives you options. So how easy was that to figure out what we needed, right? We got an OE part number right there, the K024934. Just a few seconds ago, we didn't even know what the part number was.
Yeah, it's so easy. Whether you're out and about and you just don't know what your part number was that you're looking for, or if it's an older part and maybe the number's rubbed off or scratched off and you still can't tell, or it's just rusted. Now you can find the part number even without knowing it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And exploded views, you can get into the engine parts, you can get into the entire truck, get into suspension, driveline, all of that. Now, there's another scenario that we wanted to talk about, and that is like, what if you know kind of what the product is that you want? So you know the category. So let's say after treatment, and it's a DPF filter. And then you ask the customer, hey, what's the engine? Oh, it's a Cummins. Okay, what model? It's an ISX 15. And now all of a sudden we have a few options. So here we have 6 options, right? So we went to all the DPF part numbers in the world down to 6. And if you notice in the description here, we have all of the notes right underneath of it. We have year, the year range. We've got measurements. So now a parts person could easily figure out from there, what year is it of your truck? Okay, well, it's a newer one. It's not an 0709. So it's not those two part numbers. Oh, it's a 2011. Okay, well, it's got to fit these two part numbers then. And then just take out a tape measure, measure two measurements, and boom, you know exactly which of the two you're looking for. So very convenient.
Also very fast.
Also very fast. My favorite is by measurement. This one rocks. So a lot of times, like with airbags, you'll have a number on the side of the bellows, but it doesn't mean anything. That could point you in the direction of 15 or 20 airbags, or slack adjusters. Like they're really, without knowing the measurements, it's really hard to figure out what they are. So let's just take a slack adjuster here. And as you can see, all the measurement lines are there. It's telling you what to measure. So if you measure the arm length A, and we put our tape measure on, it's 5.5. Now all of a sudden there's a bunch of options. We put in the splines. So now it's showing us B. We have to count the number of splines, and it's a fine spline, 28. It automatically fills the 1.5 because that's the only option. And now we're down. The AS 1140 is the most likely one. There's a couple other options where, again, if you click the view part details, you can, figure out maybe it's got an offset arm or something like that makes it a little unique. But 90% of the time, it's going to be this AS 1140. Very easy to use, very easy to get to all of the parts that you need, even if you don't have a part number.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. No matter what information you have about the part you're looking for, you can find the exact part you need with this app. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So, while some other cross-reference tools, their tagline is all you need is a part number. Diesel Parts is don't have a part number, no problem.
Yeah. And if you have a part number, even better.
And if you have a part number, even better, right? So, how many millions of dollars does it cost to have this app? How much did you have to pay to get signed up?
Oh, well, quite a bit. I think it was like $0.
and $0.00. So right now, this is 100% free. If you're a parts technician, if you're a repair technician, if you're in the independent service channel, if you work for a truck parts distributor and you have an all makes program, this is a tool for you. So it's a tool to really support the industry. And we highly, highly encourage people to get on there, join the over 20,000 users who are already using Diesel Parts every day.
Yes, definitely. And whether you prefer using your computer or your phone, you can get it either way.
Either way, it's available. So and actually that's a unique feature in itself, because not all of the cross-reference tools that are on the market for heavy duty are available in an app. They're only available on desktop or accessing it through a browser on your phone, which we all know can be a real pain.
Yeah, sometimes they're not optimized for phone uses. But what I think is really cool is it's not only both on the computer and mobile, but they're exactly the same layout. So if you're familiar with one, you can use the other one just as easy. That's
right. And this is an app for the most experienced down to brand new. We like, you don't have a lot of parts experience, and we could put you on a parts counter, and with this app, you'd be able to at least function.
I was going to say, if I could do it, anyone can do it.
I appreciate your humility on that. I mean, the heavy duty parts industry, especially in the independent service channel side where you don't have access to VIN lookups, I mean, it is a real steep learning curve. It takes at least a good 6 months to just be able to kind of answer the phones as a parts technician, and probably a good 2 years before you even begin to be close to something that would be acceptable as proficient.
Yeah, I've never had to do that, but I'll definitely take your word for that one.
Yeah. So, Diesel Parts is just another tool in the toolbox for parts technicians, for repair technicians, and we highly encourage people to check it out. Links are in the show notes for the mobile. Just check out the show notes, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and click those links for the mobile. And if you want, you can still use the desktop. parts.diesellaptops.com. That is how you get to the desktop. Or you can go over to heavydutypartsreport.com, click on any episode, watch it, and on the side of that episode show notes, we have side widgets, and there's a very convenient link right there, as well as in the resources section at the bottom of the page. So that's the big news this week. Diesel Parts has gone mobile. We wanted to tell everybody at the Heavy Duty Parts Report, everyone who follows the Heavy Duty Parts Report, what's going on. We were very excited about it.
Yeah, I was very excited for this.
All right. So, Taryn, thanks for joining me again this week, and we will talk to you very soon.
As always, Jamie, thank you.
All right, man. See you later. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Heavy Duty Parts Report this week, our live episode. As always, we want people to go to heavydutypartsreport.com. Go check out the podcast, subscribe to our email list. Thanks for following us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We appreciate the love. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.